Well, let's go back to the beginning of when I had to address this problem. I had been a medical school professor at the University of Colorado Medical School for 11 years, and a big bank came by and said, hey, you're using the technology that we're using in the banks, and you guys have all the knowledge, but at the bank, we have all the money. What if we put the money together with the knowledge? And they made me an offer that my wife couldn't refuse. I wind up at the bank as head of advanced systems. I'm working on the new technology. And I look at what's going on in the bank, and they have all kinds of programmers, but the biggest number were COBOL programmers. And these people, their projects are always late. And they're working nights, they're working on weekends, they're going on death marches. Are any of you doing that anymore? Death march to deliver that product? And I went into the CEO's office one day and I said, you know, I've noticed all your projects are late. Have you noticed? And he said, yes, the customers are screaming every day. And our customers were CIOs of banks, right? We had 150 banks. And I said, well, you know, I'm just a medical school professor, but I have to tell you, I ran the mathematics on the Gantt chart that they're using to control the projects and calculated the probability of being late, and it's 0.999999. You're virtually certain to be late on every project by using that technology. It's completely inappropriate for the job at hand, and the managers make it even worse because when they're late, they have more meetings, they have more reports. They're running around making it even later. Has anybody noticed that back at work? So he said to me, well, what should we do? Well, at the time I had a leadership grant from the Kellogg Foundation, and the CEO had agreed to let me travel around the world, spend a third of my time with these Kellogg fellows, and I was working with a subgroup of business school professors that were interested in entrepreneurship and innovation. So I had actually brought them into the bank to look at the mess that we were in and see if they had any ideas. And what we decided is that what we needed to do was implement a different business model. We needed to take a piece of the organization, separate it out, have a completely different operating system, and run it like a startup within a big company. So an entrepreneurial. And the book In Search of Excellence was popular at the time and was kind of helped me think through this model. So mid-continent, 150 banks, we decided the business unit that would be taken on first was the unit that was rolling out all the automated telecash machines all over North America. And that was the biggest problem. They were losing a lot of money. And so the solution was a better operating model, and these were the principles that were in that book, In Search of Excellence. You know, action, close to customer, autonomy of teams, productivity through the people working better together, hands-on, focused, lean, very lean implementation, and simultaneous loose-tight properties. What that means is the managers let go and they step back. They act more like investors. But investors don't completely ignore what's going on. They're actively engaged, asking people what they need to deliver the product. So that system I implemented using, at the medical school, I had worked with Koenig and Ritchie at Bell Labs. I'd used their tools and techniques, and what I learned at Bell Labs is the best teams that did all this innovation were small, and they had eliminated all job titles. They only had one, member of technical staff, and the tooling that they could generate conceptually could generate a completely new environment that was better than the old, and you could live in this new environment, and it was extremely different. And what I wanted to do is do the same thing that Bell Labs had done in their tooling with an organization. How can you spin up a completely different organization that has totally different characteristics, that is a lot more fun, is a lot more productive, a lot more interesting, and the customers really love it, okay? So booting up that new organization was the challenge.